Well, hello there. I'm Mama Jane's husband, and this is.
Mama Jane.
And we've just come off Virgin Voyages Reliant Lady. And if you would like to know what we thought of it and how it compares to other cruising experiences, and that interests you, then watch on. So here we are. The first thing I want to say is that Virgin set out to be different from everything else. So we think that Mr. Branson said no to lots of different things.
Possibly.
So, Mama Jane.
Well, the first thing we can tell you for certain is you don't get these wretched photographers who I know are doing the job. I know they need to earn a living, but they are so annoying. They're all over the place and they're asking you, do you want your picture taken, blah, blah, blah. And that is just annoying. You're tripping over wires. And so it would appear that Mr. Branson has said no.
No, he's giving them the big thumbs down.
We don't know, but we never saw any on this last Virgin ship.
The other thing is, there's no drink packages.
No.
Oh, no.
No.
Now, they have this thing called the bar tab. So that if you put money on your bar tab before you cruise, then they'll add a bit to it. So it depends what deal you get. But say you put $300 on because they work in dollars, they'll give you $400 bar tab. So you get the benefit of paying up front. You get a reduction, in essence, on what you spend. But there's no drink packages. There's this bar tab.
So it's a similar sort of thing, yeah. The next thing, and this is fabulous, there is no upselling. You do not get bombarded with, do you want a drinks package? Because obviously there isn't one. Do you want to upgrade your meal package? Because you can't, because there is no specialty dining, and well, you can't. There's nothing to sell you because
there's no trying to sell you bingo tickets incessantly.
Yeah, which apparently is a big thing in America. Not so much the kind of thing we're used to in England or United Kingdom, but certainly in America it's quite a big thing. And if you've been on a cruise ship, you'll know what I'm talking about. So there's none of that.
So Richard has given the old upselling another big thumbs down.
There is no buffet now. When we said there's no buffet, there is really. It all started out that Virgin were not having this buffet idea. Well, in fact, what you can do is you can either go to each counter. There are many counters for food.
In the galley.
In the galley. You can either go and you point to what you want, you are served, or you stay at your table. There are QR codes on a little plaque thing, and you get the meal that you know, whether it's lunch, breakfast, whatever. Or the menu comes up on that. Then you order at your table. So, but it's a real person that comes, because they have this little flag thing. Oh, you know what I mean when you saw it. It's like this flicky uppy thing. Isn't
you flick up your flag when you want service.
Flick up your flag.
Yeah.
So on the one hand, it is a buffet, but on the other hand, it's not really. So either way, you can.
It's almost a buffet.
It's almost a buffet.
But the great thing is you don't serve yourself.
No, that's right.
So you're not got people poking around the food. And then you eating it and catching all sorts of things. Yeah. So I think it's a great
thing. It is a great thing. And they do these plastic boxes. Yes. Now, these are really good because they'll have sort of salad in them, and they're reusable plastic, I hasten to add. They have either salad in or charcuterie, little selected charcuterie, or fresh fruit, all sorts of things, some desserts, breakfast things. So you can just grab one of them, literally grab and go. or you can grab it and sit at a table and eat it. It's very, very flexible and really quite unusual. But it's still a sort of buffet. Yeah.
So the other thing is that Mr. Branson seems to have said the big thumbs down to is cruise directors. So no cruise director on this ship. Nobody announced as cruise director.
No.
We had a few entertainment people, but nobody seems to be in overall charge of entertainment. And it seemed to work very well, didn't it?
Unless they are, I mean, it may be, obviously there will be somebody who's in charge of all the entertainers, has to be, but not publicly, and not trying to make you all have fun.
Yeah.
And
we have ways of making you have fun.
Yeah.
So there you are. And another surprise is that they've jettisoned cruise excursion tickets. Now, I've often wondered why cruise companies keep these excursion tickets when everything is on the app or the phone or whatever. And in fact, Virgin have jettisoned them. So you just turn up with what's on your phone. And it works. So it saves a bit of paper, that, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, it does also mean that you have to be able to use an app or have a mobile phone. Likewise, for the, well, it's called different things on different ships, but like the daily little leaflet you get that says all the things that are going to be happening. Now, they still do a paper one, which you can pick up from various places, but it's not automatically delivered to your cabin. No. So you need to be able to look up on your phone what it is. So in that sense, it can be tricky if you don't use a mobile phone.
The other thing that they've given the big thumbs down to is main dining rooms. There are no main dining rooms.
No.
There are lots of little restaurants. There are no specialty restaurants, but all the restaurants, I would say, are high end. Now, we did come across a little downside of this when we ran into a couple, and they hadn't been able to book any of the nice restaurants. So they hadn't been able to get into the Wake, Razzle Dazzle, or Pinkergarve, any of these. So they were eating in the galley every night. Which
isn't really a buffet, but is.
Yeah. So in the semi-buffet. Yeah. And that's because they just didn't realise, and they thought they'd be able to go to at least one restaurant without booking, and they couldn't.
And you can generally just rock up and there'll be a table free, but you know, if you want a particular time, then that's not going to happen. You know, it's no.
So there's good sides to that, but there are also downsides to that.
Yeah.
Now, there are no toilets on the ship.
Yes, there are.
But you can't find them.
They're not well signposted.
They're not signposted.
They're not signposted.
Yeah.
It's quite difficult to find them. And now, whether when Virgin were producing these ships, they thought, well, you know, they're going to be young people who don't need to pee all the time. That's perhaps what they were thinking. I don't know. But in actual fact, they're not young people.
I have never been back to the cabin so many times to have a wee because I just couldn't find a toilet in the ship. They've also got a lot of all gender toilets.
Yeah.
Which fully in favour of.
Yeah.
But there's no urinals in them.
Obs?
Now, not obs, because it would not bother me at all if they had the urinals in a side thing for the boys to go in and have a wee, and then all the closets for boys and girls.
Yeah.
The problem is with not having urinals is the boys have to queue with the girls.
Now you know what it's like.
But we can whip through the urinals much quicker than going into a closet. So the only way you knew where a toilet was is there a queue outside it. So this is so in my view, Mr. Branson has said no to toilets.
Moving on. Now, the one thing I do miss, I know not everybody likes these, what we call enrichment talks. That is, either it's a port talk, so it's talking about where you're going to be the next day, or it's a general talk about the area that you're sailing through, or it's nothing to do. It can be just total random, anything that's an interesting speaker. And there are, well, there were none when we were there anyway, and I don't think they do ever. So that's something I miss. It might be for some people that think good. Don't like him anyway. Don't know.
The other thing that I'm fully in favour of was there was no smoking anywhere inside the ship, including the casino.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing because the casino wasn't so oppressive. You know, when you walk through it, I have to often cover my mouth with a hanky when I go in a casino on some ships because the smoke is so thick.
Yeah.
And it's not good. So I don't want to breathe it. So it's about time, in my view, that smoking was banned on the inside of all ships. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So well done for that, giving that the thumbs down, Richard. Yes.
So the next thing was minimal announcements. Now, that does vary from ship to ship. But you were kept up to date with what was happening, absolutely. So announcements, very few, only the necessary ones.
Yeah, very good.
What else?
The signage is minimal and not very clear. So even when you found out where there was a sign, even if you found a sign, then a few times I went the wrong way anyway because the arrows are minimalistic.
Yeah.
So signage could be a lot better on this ship, I have to say.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So better signage needed, definitely.
Now, seating. Well, when you look round, when you get on the ship, you look round and you think, oh, this is beautiful. It is so lovely. There's all different kinds of seating, different shapes of seats, different heights, different everything of seats, and it looks gorgeous until
you try to sit on one.
Sit on it. Now, round the pool, that's fine because they're either bed things or sun loungers and other areas to sit, and they, generally speaking, were good. They were lovely.
It's a poser's pool.
But when you're indoors, the seats are perhaps okay if you've no arthritis and are under 30.
Yeah,
I would
say.
They're quite low, or they're quite deep. So when I was sitting on some seats, my feet, I'm only short, but my legs were just sticking out, so they weren't comfy.
If you didn't have a bad back when you started the cruise, you will at the end of it.
Yeah, so that's a bit, but that's how it is.
Now, one of my biggest gripes, no bubbles in the hot tubs. Shocking. So they've only got
the Ripley.
It's gently carbonated, I think is how you might describe it.
Yeah, gently carbonated.
Yeah, I think two of the 4 hot tubs are supposed to have bubbles in them, but neither of them worked on this cruise. So that is a real So
I don't think Richard said no bubbles.
I think he said no bubbles.
He did?
Yeah. Well, he knows now he has. In my view, he needs to sort that one out. There's plenty of champagne bubbles, but no jacuzzi bubbles. Shame on you, Richard. Shame on you.
What was the next question? Oh yeah. So who is this aimed at? Do you think Virgin Voyagers?
Well, I think they started off aiming it at a younger age group.
But
the average age on this cruise was perhaps a bit younger than most cruise ships, but I would say most people were between 40 and 55.
It seemed to be. Now, I don't know. I know the ships keep charts and maps of such age
they'll know
data.
The
they'll know demographic. That's what I'm looking for.
They'll know the demographics.
But you know, one place we went in, there was a competition of some kind, and they were trying to find the oldest person just in that room, not in the ship, and she was 85. Now, you know, it's a massive age range. So if you think Virgin is only for young trendies, no, it's not.
It's for old trendies as well.
It's not even for
old trendies.
For trendies generally. Yeah. It's just for anybody who likes a beautiful ship.
Having the seating. And no bubbles in the jacuzzi. And no main dining room. And no toilets. But apart from that, it's great.
And so the next question is, would we go again? And my answer, I am amazed at my answer, is most definitely yes.
Because that's changed from the first time when we went on Scarlet Lady 2.5 years ago. You came away
saying
never again. Never again.
Never again. Because I didn't like the fact that there was no entertainment as such, that you know, the theatre. There was no traditional theatre. There was no live music around the ship. Well, there's still no traditional theatre, obviously, because it just does it in a different way. But there is live music around the ship now.
So what tempted Mama Jane to go in? Well, the price was right.
It was a mega deal.
Right. We had a mega deal, and we had an offer come from Virgin. We had to do it in dollars. We had to buy it in dollars off the American website. $300 bar tab included. We got another $100 bar tab added because they matched our loyalty status on P&O. So we ended up with $400 bar tab. We also spent $100 on top of that. So in the end, we ended up paying just £86 per person per night for everything on this cruise. And considering we had some phenomenal meals and some innovative entertainment, I would say we had a cracking deal.
It's an inside cabin we're talking.
Inside cabin we're talking.
Which is what we travelled anyway, which was beautiful.
The deal is what got us back on. And I have to say, I would pay more than that to go on Virgin again. And a couple of things that hold us back with going back on Virgin is, at the moment, the cruises that are out there, the price is very high. So I wouldn't pay what they're asking us to pay now. And the other thing is that most of the itineraries that they're offering, we've done the cruise. Now, if an offer came up like this, and we'd done most of the ports, we'd probably do it because it's worth it for the food.
For a nice holiday.
And a little holiday. Yeah. It's worth it. And you can always find something to do in a cruise port or the vicinity. So that doesn't bother us. But I'm not paying a lot of money to go to cruise ports I've already been to.
No.
So if you want us back, Virgin, you need
give us another deal.
Give us a deal. And until then, we're going to stay. We won't be back on Virgin, unfortunately.
No.
But we did have a great cruise.
Fabulous.
Yeah. So on that positive note, it's even though Richard's been doing that,
we think
it'll be Richard. Will have been saying no to lots of things. Actually, sometimes less is more. And on that point, it's a goodbye from
me.
And it's a goodbye.
Him.
Goodbye.